On how to steal cable and the illegal devices we found openly being sold online. Welcome to our Stealing TV special.
It's Cybercrime's half-hour look at how crooks are using technology to pirate TV.
Everything from hack smart cards to splicing cable wire.
For satellite TV providers, it's a cat-and-mouse game. If you walk into an electronics store and walk out with a television without paying for it first, that's stealing. It's doubtful anyone would argue otherwise. But if you sit in your living room and watch satellite TV without paying a monthly subscription fee, that's also stealing. Yet thousands and thousands of people do just that. DirecTV has tried numerous times to stop the signal thieves, but with limited success. Here's why.
This is a Peace Arch border crossing. In November 1995, during a routine customs examination, an individual arriving from Canada was referred to Customs Secondary.
What began as a routine inspection became anything but routine. Thomas Smith is a senior special agent with U.S. Customs.
Our customs inspectors, during the secondary exam of the vehicle, discovered 110 green plastic printed circuit boards that the individual had failed to declare to the customs officer. This individual stated that these were gaming devices for like a Nintendo type game.
Nintendo circuit boards smuggled across the U.S.-Canadian border? Hardly. The mystery circuit boards turned out to be the first generation of pirated access cards, designed to steal DirecTV's programming.
You are now authorized to receive everything that's broadcast by Direct Television. All of the pay-per-view channels, all of the sporting events, all of the things that you would normally have to pay money for, you can now receive
for absolutely free. And finding hacked access cards is easy. Cards are advertised everywhere, from the newspaper to the net. Rudy Orhalis is with the Computer Crime and Intellectual Property Division of the Department of Justice.
There are literally hundreds of thousands of these cards being sold through the internet and through other sources. So Direct Television estimates that their annual losses is in the millions of dollars.
These smart cards, or H cards, are the key to DirecTV's programming and revenue. When you sign up for service, DirecTV tells a chip inside the card what package you've agreed to pay for. The card slides into the back of a receiver like this, and now you're surfing satellite TV. But hackers have figured out a way to alter the chip inside the card, giving it new instructions. In essence, telling the card you're authorized for every type of programming offered by DirecTV. And the only cost? The receiver and card.
If you go to the web, to the internet now, you'll find that there are still a number of sites that are offering these cards. And they range anywhere from $300 to $500 per card.
A one-time cost compared to a subscription fee that can run as much as $83 a month for all programming except for selected pay-per-view channels. Add those, and your bill adds up too.
Assuming that you would normally have to pay about $105 per month for movies and programs and all of the Showtime and HBOs, you figure it's going to take you 3 months to recoup the money that you've invested in this card. Anything after that is gravy.
And if you're a sports or movie fan and order a lot of pay-per-view channels, that can turn out to be a lot of gravy. But why are the cards coming across the border in Blaine, Washington?
In Canada, DirecTV does not have a license to broadcast its satellite signal. Therefore, it's not a violation to steal it, which is why a number of websites selling pirated access cards operate here. But once you cross the border into the U.S. like I've done, that's a different story.
Historically, Canada has been a hotbed of satellite piracy.
Larry Rissler is a retired FBI agent who now heads up DirecTV's signal integrity team. It's his job to protect DirecTV's programming.
The satellite signal, although intended for the United States, the footprint actually spills across the border into Canada and Mexico and even further than that. It would be like shining a flashlight on a wall to illuminate a speck. You would illuminate the speck, but the outside edges of the flashlight's footprint also cover other areas of the wall.
But again, since DirecTV's programming is not supposed to be received in Canada, the only way to watch it there, regardless of the satellite footprint, is to steal it.
As a result, many of the individuals who are responsible for developing the hack for the DirecTV system have and still reside in Canada.
So who's buying the hacked access cards coming across the border, and what can be done to stop it? Up next, custom agents go undercover to catch potential buyers and distributors in the U.S.
Every person that came to the website, yes, did know that this product was illegal. We either told them in our telephone conversation or they read it on the internet website.
Regardless, thousands of illegal access cards are bought during Operation Smart Card. Our special report on stealing TV continues after the break. Welcome back. 6 years ago, DirecTV began broadcasting its signal, and ever since that time, it's been fighting satellite piracy from people who've persistently figured out ways to get around paying for it without getting caught. Now the federal government is joining the fight with the largest undercover sting operation targeting smart card buyers. Here's a conclusion of our story.
DirecTV, the company responsible for bringing satellite TV into 9 million homes across the country, is in a war. Not against other satellite providers, but against hackers who've unlocked the key to stealing DirecTV's signal right out of the sky.
It's called the black market.
A black market that yields plenty of green. One of these hacked access cards sells for as much as $500. And while DirecTV won't put a dollar figure on its losses, Larry Rissler, head of the company's signal integrity team, admits the hacked cards are hacking into DirecTV's revenue stream.
Clearly it's a problem. We've never quantified it. I don't want to overstate the problem, but yes, we are denied programming revenue and we incur significant costs as a result.
Standing inside DirecTV's Network Management Center, it's easy to see why DirecTV would want to protect its property. You're looking at more than 400 channels of paid programming. In the past, DirecTV has launched electronic countermeasures. This entails sending out a signal that disables pirated access cards.
It was called Black Sunday, January 21st, 2001. For those using hacked access cards, it was the day DirecTV died. TV screens across the country went blank except for this message, a temporary setback for those using illegal cards.
On occasion, the ECM will actually fry the software, making it unusable. In some instances, it just simply stops the software from using as long as the signal is in the data stream. In addition to that, we have, of course, also swapped out our access cards on one occasion, sent out new cards with new codes. Unfortunately, they were hacked.
Just one of many attempts to stop signal theft. The other, and perhaps most significant to date, Operation Smart Card, conducted by U.S. Custom agents in Blaine, Washington. Since 1995, agents have seen illegal cards coming across the border, but haven't been able to touch sellers operating websites in Canada. So agents decided to go after U.S. citizens buying and distributing hacked cards.
This was the first case that had ever been done of an undercover nature where there was any internet involvement.
Senior Special Agent Joanne Zylstra is with U.S. Customs. Her small team decided to beat access card buyers at their own game with a phony website designed to look like the real thing, right down to the legal disclaimer.
Every person that came to the website, yes, did know that this product was illegal. We either told them in our telephone conversation or they read it on the internet website.
But that didn't stop people from flocking to the website. Before long, custom agents were operating a booming illegal online business.
Joanne, look at this order that we got.
For 9 months, agents operated the website, which is now offline. The main goal was not to identify individuals buying 1 or 2 cards. Rather, agents were trying to locate people acting as distributors.
who would buy cards in bulk and resell them. Although most of the transactions were conducted online, there were some phone calls and sometimes face-to-face meetings.
It looks like probably about 100 cards a month for me. You know, and I would be comfortable. If I get any bigger, you know, that's in the 3 areas I'm in now. Yeah. Once I get that settled, once I get everybody settled in that, then I'll start going to other cities.
The man sitting on the couch turned out to be one of the largest U.S. buyers and distributors. We can't show his face or give his name because he's still awaiting sentencing, and this undercover video is evidence in the government's case against him. But according to agents, he bought more than 600 hacked access cards. Other evidence was also collected, like photocopies of money that changed hands, cards that were sold. And by the time the website was taken offline,
more than 3,000 cards were sold to about 120 individuals. The amount of revenue collected from people wanting to purchase these cards exceeded $500,000.
Rudy O'Hollis is the coordinating prosecutor for Operation Smart Card. Ultimately, 15 people were arrested and charged in connection with a plot to steal DirecTV's programming.
It is a form of piracy. There are copyright laws that are being violated. We refer to people who buy illegal software as pirates, and these people are doing the same, except that they are what they're purchasing is an illegal card. They're allowing these cards to be maintain a market for and a demand for these cards, and they are supporting a type of piracy.
And although DirecTV is the obvious victim, it's not the biggest loser.
I think end users should be aware that piracy is not a victimless crime. There are victims. That includes DirecTV, our retailing outlets, as well as our consumers.
It's not just Direct Television that loses out on this. Don't forget there's a movie industry that's attached to this. There are a number of other industries that receive revenues, for example, from Direct Television.
Next on HBO.
And ultimately, that means higher costs that have to be shared by legitimate subscribers, which means those people who do pay end up paying a little bit more. So everyone ends up paying in the long run.
The man sitting on the couch in the undercover video is expected to be sentenced later this month. As for all of the hacked access cards sold during Operation Smart Card, they were neutralized once the investigation was over, and the money collected was sent to the Treasury Department. Still ahead on cybercrime.
The honest consumer that is paying cable TV rates are subsidizing the people that are stealing it.
Stealing cable, it's a billion-dollar business. When cybercrime returns, find out how you pay the price for cable piracy.
Guy. Meanwhile, cable piracy continues to run rampant. Last year, more than 11 million people stole cable TV, according to the National Cable Television Association. They cut into cable lines and install descrambling devices to steal everything from basic programming to pay-per-view movies. And the legitimate users, well, they have more to lose than you might think.
These people are stealing. It is not piracy, it is stealing. And I think piracy is this romantic word that's some swashbuckling thing, and it's not, it's stealing.
It's a $6.5 billion a year problem, according to the National Cable Television Association. Cable piracy, stealing or intercepting a cable television signal without paying for it. You may think it's a war against big business, or even a victimless crime, but are legitimate users paying the price of piracy?
The honest consumer that is paying cable TV rates are subsidizing the people that are stealing it. It's a huge issue for these people.
Nigel Ives is on the board of directors with the California Cable Television Association. We caught up with him on one of his recent trips to the California state capitol. Ives was here to educate Congress about the costs of cable piracy.
That they are cutting into our lines, which also causes damage to our cable system, which we have to repair, so we have to send people out to repair it, and that also is an expense. And that is subsidized again by the honest people that are paying for cable television.
And there's another cost. Legitimate cable users are losing out on community money. A percentage of revenues cable companies collect from consumers is given back to their communities. They're called franchise fees. So, for example, in California, $800 million is lost in revenue due to piracy. 5% of that, or $40 million, is the franchise fees that would go to local California communities.
With $40 million going into local communities that's missing out that goes for policemen, firemen, schools, I think any community you talk to would certainly appreciate that kind of money coming in.
Stealing cable or assisting someone in stealing cable is a federal crime under the Integrated Cable Act. And some states go even further. There are dozens of state laws that make it a crime to possess, not use, but possess the equipment used to steal cable. Unauthorized descrambling devices are considered contraband. They're illegal by their very nature.
These were called pancakes, and that's what this is right here. It descrambles the channels automatically.
Detective Mike Menz of the Sacramento Valley High-Tech Crime Unit hunts people who sell, buy, and use illegal cable equipment.
Okay, you'll have an older type descrambler where they've replaced a chip over in the corner with one they've made off a EEPROM programmer like this. And they will sometimes solder it on top of another one like these are, but normally they'll just take it and solder it right into the unit, or they'll make a whole bunch of them like this at one time and then put them in units after the fact.
According to the cable industry, using an illegal decoder like this one cost the industry $4,000 in lost revenue.
Recently we took down a case which had about 150 to 200 cable boxes a month in their quantity. We ended up filling 3 vans full of equipment when we left that place in Nevada.
Menz's unit began investigating the case after learning that someone in California was buying all the used cable boxes they could find. And that person was ultimately connected to a supplier of illegal descramblers in Nevada.
This all added up to a total of over $4 million in just one calendar year.
Investigators confiscated detailed records of the sales, a list of people who allegedly bought the boxes, along with hundreds of illegal cable boxes and descrambling chips. Police say the business was run by 29-year-old Greg Edward Meskey from Reno, Nevada, and 29-year-old Robert Dale St. Clair from Richmond, Nevada. The men in this case targeted buyers by advertising in electronic magazines. But more and more cable piracy entrepreneurs are turning to the web to reach a broader target audience.
The 2 men arrested in the cable bust in Nevada were convicted of misdemeanor charges related to selling the boxes. And as to the list of buyers in the case, well, the cable companies are considering whether to go after each of them in civil court. Our Stealing TV special continues after the break.
Everything from decoders to how to do it, boxes, they actually are boxes for sale, books on how to do it.
Cybercrime goes online in search of the equipment and the instructions on how to steal cable television. Our overwhelming results when we return. Back to our story. In part 1, we told you that it is simply illegal to possess an unauthorized descrambling device in many states. Yet that hasn't stopped thousands of websites from selling the equipment openly on the net. And instructions on how to steal cable, we learned, are only a click away.
Black boxes, descramblers, decoders, converters, tools of the cable piracy trade, all openly sold online. Detective Menz showed us.
Type in cable descrambler and see how many websites come up. 8,200 sites came up that fast. Everything from decoders to how to do it, boxes, they actually are boxes for sale, books on how to do it.
And even if you're not looking, the scrambling devices may find you. One cybercrime viewer pointed us to this site. The site claims it's legal to own your own cable descrambling box, as long as you notify your cable company. But even if you do notify them, experts in the industry say cable companies never authorize these boxes. Aside from using the web to buy the equipment, there are online memberships like Cable Pirate 5.0. Cybercrime bought this service using a credit card at a cost of $19.95 a month. We then had immediate access to a site filled with how-to plans. Everything from how to descramble cable TV with aluminum foil, to how to clone decoders for satellite TV, to how to figure out which descrambling method your cable company uses. Cable Pirate 5.0 pointed us to their disclaimer, stating this information is for entertainment purposes only.
It's for entertainment purposes only. The plans themselves are not illegal to sell.
And while it hasn't been tested in court, the federal law that makes it a crime to assist in stealing cable might be used to prosecute such sites. First Amendment advocates disagree. And until a legal challenge is made, websites that describe how to steal cable remain online.
For now, law enforcement and the cable industry spends its time deterring individuals from actually using those online instructions.
And the more we do this, I think the more that the general public realize, people that are getting it, that it's not a joke, that it has significant fines and up to jail sentences, and they realize that it is a significant crime, and they are starting to come around and bring these boxes in and sign up to legal cable service.
For the first offense, federal fines for stealing or helping someone steal cable are as high as $50,000 and/or 2 years in prison. And in one recent civil suit in Illinois, sellers of illegal descrambling equipment were ordered to pay more than $29 million in damages.
So Alex, I guess the question is, are people just trying to save money, or is it part of a bigger philosophy that the airwaves, TV should be free?
I don't know. Should TV be free? Really? Well, we tackle that debate on the website. Go there at cybercrime.com.
And with that, we are out of time for our Stealing TV special.
But we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.